how to be a wealthy spender. Most often when we think about our financial well-being or improving our financial situation, we think about scrimping and saving and deprivation, and so much of the focus is on what we can't have, what we can't do. Oh, I really want that, but can I afford it? Can't I afford it? Or we think about, how do I earn more money? So we look at, how do I get more money in? Or how do I save? Usually with an energy of, oh, this money stuff's all about what I can't have. Often we don't even look at what's going on in our liability drawer, and we don't even think about our assets. But I want to just focus for a little bit on today's video around the outflow. I've said over and over and over that the greatest get-rich-quick scheme is focusing on the outflow. Our outflow, where money flows out of our life, our expenses, is actually where our wealth is created, because that's where our relationship with how we choose to consume, what we choose to spend our money on, those decisions get made. So that's the point of decision of whether we end up with a whole lot of stuff we don't need, or whether we really get value from stuff, whether we're directing stuff to assets and investing, whether we're making, what's the minimum repayment per month choice and just filling our life with liabilities. That's where the real knife edge is of whether we're creating a wealthy, abundant, and financially free life, or whether we're going to create one of just survival and getting by and constantly being in a never enough money cycle. Is all at that point. But if we approach it all from deprivation and what we can't have, one, it's no fun. Two, we're often going to make the wrong choices and decisions. So one of the things I really want you to think about and go, how can you learn to be a wealthy spender? We're not taught how to spend. We're taught how to earn. We're taught how to deprive ourselves. But we're not taught how to be a wealthy spender, how to spend with consciousness. Now, I am a lifetime learner, and in the world of money and finance, I love this stuff. So I'm always reading other people's work, and there's a great chap that I highly recommend you check him out if you haven't. And he's Ramit Sethi, and he wrote a book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich. Really great, New York Times bestseller. And he uses the word or the phrase that, are you a cheap spender or a conscious spender? And many people think being financially smart is about being a cheap spender. They're the people who go out and try and find all the coupons or go to the sales, and they'll buy 5 crappy quality t-shirts because they're on sale, not because they want those t-shirts, and they'll maybe never wear them, but because they were on a sale. But so much of the energy comes from what we can't have, how little can we have, or how can we beat it? And that's very different from being a conscious spender to saying, first point, what do I really want? What lights me up? What really brings me joy? And lets me conscious about filling my life with those things, and not the unconscious spend triggers that come from either reactive buying, because you suddenly see something that last week you didn't even know existed, and now you have to have it because that's what advertising does. Emotional spending, which gets triggered from either, oh, I've worked really hard, so I deserve this, or I'm pissed off, so I'm going to go and compensate for it, or I'm feeling down, so what can I fill my life with? Whatever it is, or you could be a high emotion or a low emotion spender. The bottom line is emotional spending, as opposed to conscious spending, which is going, I really am clear that when I exchange money in my life, I get value from it. And so in this whole area of being a wealthy spender, one of the key things we've got to be really clear is the difference between a need versus a want. Now, we have covered that in another video, which you can go deeper into, but it's really important that we get clear when something is a want. Now, the wants, there's nothing wrong with wants. We all have wants, and it's important that we give ourselves those wants, those holidays, those fun things, those doodads that Robert Kiyosaki talks about. But if we pretend wants are needs, we lie to ourselves, and then we again can make very dysfunctional journeys. So part of being a conscious spender is being deeply honest. Hell yes, is this a want? Now, how do I find a way to have the things I want and have great financial health? Is a very different kind of conversation that a wealthy spender thinks about. How do we make these spend decisions that are good for us, good for our family, good for our community, good for the earth and the environment, and mostly good for our financial well-being? Then it's part of being a wealthy spender is also really being clear on what is the value exchange in that outflow. So in order to know that value exchange, that are you ensuring that you get value back for the money that you've given over, you need to understand what your life force value is. What's the value of your time? How long is it does it take you to earn that money that you're now going to spend? Now, I don't want you to go and take your gross income, or if you're an entrepreneur, the top line revenue, that vanity number that we've spoken about before, because that's not the real amount of money that stays in your life. You've got taxes to pay, you've got direct costs. If you're an employee, you've got transport costs to get to and from your work, or other associated costs to earn that, taxes that then get taken off, other deductibles. So what you want to look at is how much of that money ends up in your bank account, in your pocket, after the cost of earning that money. Then you need to divide that by an average number of working hours. Now, typically, that's 8 hours a week, say. Many people work more than that, but let's be generous and say 8 hours a week, 4.5 weeks a month. You can multiply that out and then go, what is your hourly rate? What is your time worth currently in terms of the money you spend? So if you're about to go and spend a whole lot of money, go, how much of my life force am I about to exchange for this thing, and is that worth it to me? Because one of the things none of us can ever get back is time. Time to do the things we really love. Yet it's one of the things that most people squander, because we can never get back more time. We can make more money, we can make more energy even, but we can never make more time. So if you truly start understanding what is the time your life will spent to get that money, versus how quickly and easily we get rid of it, and make sure that that value exchange truly is the value net positive to you. And for that, of course, we need to know what is valuable to us, what lights us up. So understand that value to outflow ratio and make sure you are winning on that side. And then when you are ready to buy stuff, and I'm talking about some of the bigger things, but even the small things, negotiate, price around. When you know that you really want something and you're clear on it, you know the value, spend a bit of time to price around, go online, see if you can get it previously loved, lightly used. It's amazing what you can get on Facebook Marketplace. You do not have to buy new to also get over this sort of thing that new is good, or buying new means wealthy, or if you buy secondhand or previously loved somehow means you're a cheapskate or not good. Enjoy the fact that there's amazing stuff that you can get at discount. So more value to you. And negotiate on interest rates, negotiate on price. Just ask. If you don't ask, you're never going to get. And so if you've got any resistance, go, oh, and what will they think? Will they think I'm poor? Will they think I'm a cheapskate? What is it if I ask for a discount, if I negotiate? Notice that stuff, because it's all just stories that we have in our heads. And then spend time going, and it's so important that you track what is going on with your expenses, and at least once a quarter, go in and clear out the rats in the pantry. Those unconscious spends, those direct debits that have just snuck in there, those subscription payments that are going off that you've forgotten about. There's a reason the Netflixes and the Amazon Primes and all of these of the world like these small little monthly repayments, because they know most people can't be bothered to look at them, but they build up. So clear those things out of your life. And if you're not getting value from something, know that you can stop it and you can always bring something back in. This is the whole point. You drive the value in your life. So make it a goal to become a wealthy spender. And if you need a bit of support on this and you want a challenge, check out the Squeeze the Juice 30-day challenge. It's an amazing 30-day structured process for you to go through a whole lot of different areas of your outflow and transform your relationship with your outflow and get more value in your life and become a wealthy spender. So in the comments below, I would love to know, do you consider yourself a wealthy spender? Are you a cheap spender or a conscious spender? And now if you're watching this anywhere other than over at thewellchef.com, head on over there, and below the video, I'd love to know in the comments, are you a cheap spender, or should I say, have you been a cheap cheap spender or a conscious spender, Ramit's great definition. And what are the areas in your life where you've tended to have emotional spend triggers that you can now be conscious about? Because the first step to transformation is just awareness. So have you been an up emotion, down emotion, flat emotion spender? And how can you claim back your agency around that? So enjoy this whole journey to learning how to be a wealthy spender and really realizing this is the greatest get rich quick way in the world, getting more for the money that's already in your life. So remember, your freedom is created just one step at a time. Keep taking those steps.